alleged conspiracy problems. So we could be talking about Biden administration officials that could be getting pulled into this. And it could get all the way up to President Obama. I mean, having now really read in on this case, there's a real question about whether Barack Obama's about to have the same kind of trouble that Jack Smith caused for Donald.
I'm going to go to the next topic here, which is Adam's top topic, talking about Obama saying every man needs a gay friend. So Obama goes
Barack,
on his wife's podcast, okay? And they're sitting there having this conversation, and it opens, they covered a lot of different things. Right off the bat, they talked about the divorce. Hey, aren't we supposed to be getting a divorce and all this stuff?
When Megyn Kelly and Patrick Bet-David stepped in, Obama's polished legacy quickly crumbled. With sharp precision and unfiltered honesty, they tore apart the carefully built myth, exposing empty speeches, broken promises, and the golden image that had long disguised a legacy of letdowns. This wasn't a discussion, it was a full-on reckoning. No teleprompter could protect him. No cheering crowd could soften the blow. What followed was a dismantling so direct, it left the Obama narrative struggling to hold on to any sense of relevance.
That one day, the intelligence community under Barack Obama was ready to come out and say that the Russians did not interfere in the 2016 election and really had no part in it, and that whole thing was kind of bullshit. Then Barack Obama pulled them all into the White House, they had a big meeting, and then literally the next day, they were like, Russia interfered to help Trump, and leaked it to all the reporters, Washington Post.
But think, you're Obama, okay? First go from the Obama's lens. Okay. Obamas are sitting there having to hear people compare Kamala to Obama. Crazy. Do you know what that does to Obama? Do you know Obama is sitting there saying, shut the that's what Obama said.
Barack Obama has now stepped into the phase of his post-presidency, where he seems less like a former world leader and more like a guy endlessly delivering unwanted TED Talks. If managing one's legacy were a competitive sport, he'd be on the podium clutching a participation trophy made from shattered promises and shiny drone shells. As the world sinks deeper into disorder, Obama's busy snapping selfies with stars and preaching about hope has if he didn't vanish. On his own party, the moment the going got tough,
that there are divorce rumors and, she's not showing up for him, whether it's at the Jimmy Carter funeral or the Trump inauguration or the basketball game he just went to in LA when visiting their daughters, and then dinner with the daughters was not there. Here she is talking about it. If it were me, I would say something nice about him. I would say he's just so charming. It was meant to be. I knew he could heal the earth in the way he did. There was only one person who could do it, and it was my husband, Barack Obama.
Just when it seems like Obama might quietly drift into documentary nostalgia, Megyn Kelly and Patrick Bet-David show up with a verbal flamethrower, dragging his reputation across the ideological pavement like a rug hiding far too many policy stains. It's telling when Megyn Kelly, no stranger to media battles, and Patrick Bet-David, a businessman who interviews like he's grilling reality itself, both glance at Obama's legacy and agree. Yeah, this seriously needs disinfecting.
Obama's office spokesperson, Patrick Rodenbush, great first name, rejected the office of the Director of National Intelligence. Reports claim that senior Obama administration officials orchestrated the Russia collusion hoax, stating, out of respect for the office of the presidency, our office does not normally dignify the constant nonsense and misinformation flowing out of this White House with a response. And he called the allegations outrageous and ridiculous, a weak attempt of restraint.
For let's be real, Obama wasn't so much a president as he was a sharply dressed notification, always popping up with poetic sound bites that felt deep until you realized they held all the weight of a puffed-up press release. Hope and change? The only real change was how smoothly he dodged accountability. He turned vague optimism into a leadership brand and somehow got millions to believe that charm could take the place of actual results.
Because the boss has told them to get back to him with an assessment that says Russia did interfere and Russia meant to help Trump. And so where do they turn? They don't have it, except in the Steele dossier, which we now know was totally made up. It's been entirely discredited. That was the best evidence they had.
While the world metaphorically burned. Obama seemed more focused on curating playlists and acting like he could trademark the word nuance. Meanwhile, Megyn Kelly was practically rolling her eyes into another dimension, watching him soak up applause for speeches that boiled down to, "You all need to be better and like me, who's already flawless."
Personally, for me, if I were able to run for a third term, Michelle would divorce me. So, it's useful that I don't have that choice to make.
I know you have to leave.
But Michelle was never wild about politics. Michelle once explained to me, I try to organize my life not to have a lot of mess around. And
Patrick Bet-David, on the other hand, didn't hesitate for a second before tearing apart Obama's carefully polished image, like a visitor log that mysteriously vanished after a backroom deal. He wasn't fooled by the hype, the halo, or the Netflix globe. He went straight for the uncomfortable truths, the media spin, the selective outrage, and Obama's uncanny knack for being close to every crisis, yet walking away spotless. Obama practically invented the art of political Houdini, disappearing the moment tough questions show up, only to reappear on a yacht with celebrities, tweeting vague messages about unity. He could give a 40-minute speech on a crisis he helped create and still sound like an innocent observer. It's like someone setting your house on fire, and then calmly strolling in to comment on the flames while charging you for bottled water. And somehow, he's still being asked to guide a party he quietly abandoned in chaos. Democrats keep treating him like a sacred symbol, even though they lost nearly 1,000 seats under his watch. If success really leaves a trail, Obama's looks more like a cautionary tale scribbled in disappearing ink. But sure, let's keep asking him how to win. Even though he vanished from every midterm like voter turnout was his personal allergy.
Trump wouldn't go to on media where they would trash him. Where would he not go to? Would he not go to CNN? Would he not go to MSNBC? Would he not go to Jimmy Fallon? Would he not go to Jimmy Kimmel? Would he not go to? Would he not? He went everywhere, right? Now, let me flip this on you. How many times have you seen Obama, Clinton, Hillary, any of those guys
Biden
go on Fox ever? How many times? The answer is never.
And Megyn Kelly torched Obama's media darling status, and honestly, it was long overdue. His press coverage was so gentle it might as well have been ghostwritten by his own memoir team. Serious issues like drone strikes, the Benghazi debacle, and IRS scandals were quietly swept under glossy Vanity Fair spreads and upbeat Spotify playlists. The media treated him like a national treasure, not a politician who mastered the look of leadership while letting Hollywood handle the moral messaging. Patrick Bet-David didn't pull punches either. He saw through the polished suits and Nobel Prize participation trophies and called it what it was: branding. Obama's presidency wasn't a movement. It was a marketing campaign wrapped around a foreign policy that left casualties. He won a Peace Prize, then spent 2 terms pressing drone buttons like it was a video game. If irony had a face, it'd be Obama calmly preaching restraint at a press conference while his administration bombed 7 countries. And when it came to the economy, his version of saving it was handing bailouts to the very people who helped crash it in the first place.
Under Barack Obama planned, a lot of this is from Racket News, which everybody should read directly, Matt's group. Intel officials planned a December 9th, 2016 presidential daily brief, which is always from the Intel community for the president, letting him know what's happening in the world. They planned a PDB that would say foreign adversaries, quoting here, foreign adversaries did not use cyber attacks on election infrastructure to alter the U.S. presidential.
Wall Street thrived. Main Street got steamrolled, and Obama walked away calling it progress because a few job charts leaned slightly in his favor. He gave soaring speeches about saving the middle class while dining with tech billionaires who treat paying taxes like an old myth. The recovery felt real if you owned a private jet and had accounts in the Cayman Islands. Megyn Kelly didn't. Let anyone forget how fast Obama disappeared when it was time to back actual reform. Police reform? He talked. Racial justice? More talk. Immigration? There was action, just the wrong kind. But wait. He deported more people than any president before him, all while posing in front of hope posters. It's almost a skill being the symbol of progress while quietly running policies that maintain the status quo. In healthcare, He didn't create a system, he cut a deal with Big Pharma, called it revolutionary, and dared critics to speak up. Obamacare was more like a ransom note in insurance code, offering Americans the choice between limited coverage and a softer version of financial ruin. He had the political power to bring real change, blew it like a tourist, wasting cash on slogans, keepsakes, and tokens for his legacy shelf.
Middle of the night, they wake up. Oh my God, Michelle, bed is wet. What, babe? I'm right here. Babe, is it already November? Did they already announce he's president? No, babe, today's the October 25th. Oh my God, babe. Oh my God, please hold my hand. Please hold my hand. Please hold my hand. Oh my God, it's not here yet. Every night they're going to sleep, wetting their beds.
His administration wasn't just flawed, it was dysfunction dressed in polish. Obama mastered the art of making inaction look strategic, compromise seem wise, and silence pass as statesmanship. He dodged urgent issues with the finesse of a bad Tinder date, yet still received standing ovations. But the fallout from his decisions didn't walk away with him. It still lingers beneath every speech, every public appearance, every self-assured smile passed off as wisdom. And Patrick Bet-David isn't buying the cool dad routine. He sees the gap between a real leader and a mascot. Obama's become the latter, a symbol rolled out to comfort donors and distract from the Democratic Party's lack of backbone. He's the human equivalent of smooth background, jazz nice to hear, easy to ignore when hard truths demand attention. His most enduring legacy may be making mediocrity look like divine brilliance. He left a broken party, a bloated surveillance system, and a generation of leaders who think tweets are policy. Still, he keeps stepping up with hopeful monologues, like Moses descending from Mount Audacity, handing out talking points on how to fake like everything's under control.
Fuel on the fire that there's a potential, maybe a divorce or some sort of rockiness going on in the Obamas' relationship. They both posted these mirrored, very choreographed Valentine's Day messages on X, but he was just seen at an LA, the basketball team, the Clippers, thank you, game without her. And then on Tuesday, he was spotted eating out at a fancy dinner in Sherman Oaks with both daughters, Malia and Sasha, but again, no Michelle, according to TM.
Megyn and Patrick didn't just critique, they blew up the illusion. We weren't fooled by the branding, the humble posturing, the non-stop book tours, or the perfectly assembled playlists. He pointed straight at the emperor and said what so many still won't. He's not leading, he's narrating. From a safe distance while collecting royalties, and still, he won't stop talking. Obama's the guy who shows up to a fire he started holding a marshmallow stick and a podcast contract to launch a 12-part series on how empathy defines leadership, then board a private jet to lecture the world about climate change. It's like getting fitness advice from someone eating nachos on a treadmill. And the roast doesn't end there, because with each headline, every slick media appearance, and each polished monologue about better angels, the gap between Obama's words and actions stretches wider, exposing something less messianic and more manufactured. He's not the savior, he's both the salesman and the product. A dream. Dressed in elegance, sold with a grin, and delivered in quiet disappointment. When Megyn and Patrick struck the match, the polished packaging went up in smoke. What remained wasn't hate, it was truth. The kind of truth that forces us to wonder if we weren't betrayed by bad intentions, but by professional perfection.
Now, he was just caught on camera saying, well, we'll play both of them in succession. Let her rip.
Witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold, Tulsi Gabbard. What they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up to 2020 in the election. They tried to rig the election, and they got caught. And there should be very severe consequences.
A master of illusion. He promised change, sold serenity, delivered complexity, and slipped away before the cleanup began. But don't worry, he's still around. Not to lead, not to own his legacy, but to comment from the sidelines like a retired coach heckling a game he once misplayed. And you can bet the commentary isn't ending anytime soon. The curtain's already been pulled back, yet Obama keeps Trying to conduct the orchestra like he didn't leave with the sheet music in hand, he's become the ghost of administrations past, drifting in whenever the current chaos needs a poetic distraction, offering hollow words as if they can solve inflation, global turmoil, or the spineless mess his party has become. While he's busy polishing his halo, the country's still choking on the dust from the economic rug he used to hide uncomfortable truths. Yet somehow, he's still treated like he invented governance, with pundits hanging on every word like gospel, ignoring that it's all just well-spoken nothingness wrapped in quick exits. Megyn and Patrick simply asked what others won't. What are we even clapping for anymore? The speeches, the image, or the comforting lie that we weren't just handed a shiny box of the same old status quo with a playlist attached? The truth isn't in the headlines, it's in the silence. The silence when it counted most, when leadership was needed, and all we got was another polished paragraph. Legacy isn't built in the afterglow. It's defined by what you do under the spotlight. And now that the myth is crumbling and the applause is fading, we're left with the echo, a lingering reminder that this story isn't over yet.